I am your host, Grant Guy. Here's my awesome co-host,
Jacob.
Yo, and today we're reviewing, yes, the Barbie movie.
Barbie. Woo.
Barbie.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Hell yeah, Grant.
Jacob, getting right into it.
Yes.
What were your expectations going into the Barbie movie?
My expectations were to see a isekai Barbie in another world movie. And it did not actually end up being like that.
It did not. It did not.
I also expected to laugh and to be funny, and I actually did audibly laugh, which is an achievement.
Yes.
I never do that in theaters.
Dude,
that's an achievement. I was laughing.
I had a very audible laugh at
Dude,
one joke.
everyone was
in
quiet, dude.
particular.
And I'll be real, the people next to me were like, what?
Oh, what?
I was like, You guys are not funny. I think they were just maybe talking about the plot, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Barbie movie is confusing. Is it?
Dude, that joke was so good, though.
It's so good. It's
Oh,
so
man,
good.
it's funny. It was awesome. All right,
But yeah.
what were your expectations, Grant?
I went into this. All right, so my basic thoughts going right into the movie is I was definitely expecting a couple chuckles.
Yes.
A couple chuckles here
Same.
and there.
Yep.
Only because I heard the synopsis for the film, and it was like basically making fun of itself. It's very like tongue-in-cheek.
Yep.
And literally the first commercial that came out was like, do you love Barbie? Do you hate Barbie? Well, either way, you will love this movie. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was a Space Odyssey reference. I'm like, all right, that's funny. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was a trailer showed it.
Really?
I saw it in a trailer.
What was the reference?
Space Odyssey, the baby being thrown in the air.
Oh.
You know, like the monkey's fighting over a bone. And
That's right. Yeah.
That was the whole beginning scene here, too. But
Yeah,
I saw that
it's
in the trailer.
literally
I was
like
yo.
the creation of Barbie. It's like all these. It's so much, they're like
Yeah,
on
you're
this
like, what?
deserted like area.
Yeah.
And like all these just random baby dolls are just chilling, and they're like, this little girl's like really sad, like ironing clothes with a toy iron. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so expectations. I thought I was gonna really like it, and
same. I thought I was
I
gonna
really
love it,
enjoyed
but-
it overall. It definitely has its flaws, but I
It
enjoyed it.
does, yes.
Yes, and we shall get into those. So, Jacob, what is your spoiler-free?
Yes.
Before we get into the
God, that's a good
spoilers,
question.
spoiler-free rating.
I would say 3 out of 5.
Okay.
It would normally be an average movie, but it's above average because it's original and they tried something new.
I think that's fair.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5
Yes.
for now.
Okay. Hell yeah. After we talk, we usually change our scores.
We usually do. So if you guys want to hear the rest, from now on, we're talking spoilers. We'll get the big final score by the end of it. So let's just jump into it, starting with, of course, the story. We begin our adventure in Barbie Land. Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
All right,
And,
so
yeah, whenever I'm introduced to a fun world like this, or like, you know, there's fun ideas, you don't know what's gonna happen, or like, oh, like Barbie, like the food isn't real, or she floats from her house. It's always like fun to learn the world building, I guess.
Yep.
The world building.
The epic world building. And we have kind of seen this humor before.
Yep.
In the Toy Story films, mostly in the second and third one, where they kind of joke around about them being like dolls or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one plays into it super hard. And I think overall the humor does really hit. I think that's the best part of the film.
Yeah.
So we start off in Barbie Land. Margot, the very epic Margot Robbie,
Yep. Hell yeah.
wakes up on a very normal sunny day as Barbie. She does the typical Barbie stuff where she drinks out of a plastic cup, nothing comes out of it. Takes a shower, nothing comes out of the shower.
Yep.
And then they explain like, oh, well, when you're playing with Barbies, you don't like walk them down the stairs. They kind of just bring them to the street.
Yep. And
So-
I could like imagine the invisible hand like playing with the toys, or you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So her Barbie just kind of like floats down. And I think at the very beginning, it does a really good job of explaining the world.
Yeah,
It
it makes
does-
it fun of itself a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
hey Barbie, hi
Yeah.
Barbie. It's like
Exactly. Like, hello, Barbie. So I think at the beginning, it does a really great job of explaining itself. It does fall apart a little bit later on, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Then the Barbies get to, they do whatever they do for the day. So this Barbie goes to the beach where we meet Ryan Gosling as Ken, and he's doing some pretty great stuff. But the best character shows up in this scene. And that is
yeah, I know. Alan.
So good.
Dude, it's good. That actor, is he just like a meme or something?
I think so, like that definitely had to be the case where they were like, you know, it'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Because like any other actor in that role, I'm like, I can't see it.
Dude, yeah.
Alan is Michael Cera. Like,
dude, he gets some sauce too. He fights later on.
Dude, yeah. He has like a whole character arc where later on he's like, I'll fight up my way out of this. And he like beats the shit out of like a bunch of other Kens.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing is he like shouts his catchphrase when he's about to fight all the other Kens. He's like, all other Ken clothes fit me. And then at the very end you see like Alan. All of Ken's clothes fit him too.
I missed that completely. Dang. I need to rewatch it. I'm just kidding.
Dude, yo. So we're introduced to our three main characters.
Ken as well.
Yep, Ken as well.
And he lives to be seen by Barbie.
Yes, that is his main purpose established right away.
And she does not see him. She sees him, but she doesn't really recognize him as a lover, boyfriend, or anything. She's like, oh, hey. All right, girl party, you know. Yeah,
and we get a lot of jokes surrounding that where it's like, okay, in the Barbie universe they're labeled as girlfriend and boyfriend. The theme of this movie is very like label heavy. I think that's the main lesson to be learned is don't do labels, I guess. So like we see him where he's like, why don't I stay the night at your house? And she's like, to do what?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
I don't know. And I love that because that's just, it's not even like they're trying to make a point at that point in the film. It's just that's just the Barbie thing. Like they're not screwing.
Yeah, no, they just hang out, and that's like what a little kid would do, which is probably what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like they're not thinking about that. It's just like, oh, Ken's going to the party house to party.
yeah. Oh, they sleep together. Or they wake up. You know.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So. Then something horrible happens. So it showed us what a normal day in Barbie Land looks like.
Yep. Average day.
Yep. And then it does the next day. And some things are off with Barbie.
Some things are a little funky.
Like her shower's too hot or cold.
Yep.
The waffles burnt and then the cream is fricked.
Yep.
Her feet go flat.
The big cream of the crop.
Yep.
Yeah, her feet go flat. So then all the other Barbies are like,
yep.
They start throwing up. So then they're like, you got to go see the weird Barbie, which I thought, okay, I'm not a huge fan. I forget her name. I'm not a huge fan of the actress that plays the weird Barbie, just from other movies I've seen her
I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis would be good here.
Oh, she would have been good there, actually. Yeah.
I don't know,
Well, I'm just not a big fan of the actress, but I thought she did a really funny job in this one, because I just love how they were like, okay, this Barbie,
it's freaking weird, but she like
messed up.
She's like, weird Barbie, I have flat feet, and then she does the splits and looks down.
yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
There's good moments like that, and then weird Barbie explains that she has to go to the real world to fix the connection with her counterpart that is playing with the toy version. And this is kind of where it broke a little bit for me.
Okay.
Where I was like, okay, so they know that they're being played with, but they kind of have their own free will.
Yeah.
But are they doing what their quote unquote like little girls are doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a little bit there, but it's played for laughs at the end of the day. So I'm like, okay, I'll move past it.
This was not my breaking point. I was still in at this point.
Well, this was just kind of like a little hint of like I was kind of thinking about it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I was fine with it.
Don't think
about it. Yeah. But I'm still rolling with it. This was just like the first little inkling of like, okay, all right, sure.
So Barbie has to travel to the real world, and
Ken goes with her.
Yep. Ken goes with her. They have to go like this whole complicated way to get there. But they get there, and Barbie's dressed up, and then she immediately realizes that like she's like, wow, I don't feel respected here, basically. She's like being ogled at.
She gets her ass slapped, and
that's crazy.
I will say one thing to give this movie major props for is I was worried that this was going to be a Wonder Woman 84.
Oh God.
And become like a every single dude on the street's like, "Hey, pussy tits,
Yeah.
wanna fuck?" And you know, like every single guy in the movie is like a horrible villain.
They did this well because someone did a smile comment and it wasn't as jarring as Captain Marvel.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So major props to the movie for that. Yes, there is that. But it's only done with a few characters, and I think it's done pretty well.
Dude, yeah. And then the best joke where she's like, "I don't have a vagina," and the construction workers are supportive. They're like, "All right, I guess."
They're like, "That's fine.
That's fine." Yeah. That's funny.
Ryan Gosling is like, "I actually have all of the genitalia," and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, what? All right, and then, they realize men are in power here instead of women.
Yep.
And it's flipped. And Ryan Gosling goes like, "Oh my gosh."
He's like, "Holy crap, this is..."
Yep.
Which I think is a great flip for his character because it's like, in the Barbie universe, it's like, who gives a shit about Ken?
Yeah.
So now here it's like, people give a shit about me.
Yeah. And then it really shows him learning. Well, it kind of like exemplifies how fricked up our world is, with... For example, the people who lead the Barbie Foundation, it's with the M. Mattel. It's like all white guys deciding how girls will play.
Yeah, like, dude, okay, I think...
That's funny.
Again, another thing I was worried about is I was like, oh, this is going to be the evil corporation that's just in charge, and it's like, oh, screw these guys.
Yeah.
But no, Will Ferrell and all the other business guys were some of the funniest parts, just watching them, like, scatter around.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
Did you not like it as much?
There's a scene where Barbie's running away from them.
Yeah.
And she goes through the little push gate, and then they see her, and they're like, "Whoa, we need an ID card." I'm like, the only way this works is if they never leave the top floor office, like never, ever.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that.
Like,
I was just
why
like,
would
they're just dumb people.
Yeah, I guess they were dumb, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I see where you're coming from,
I couldn't, I could not suspend my disbelief with that.
Yeah, where it's like they've obviously left this building.
Yeah.
So like, why is it trouble now?
Yeah, but
no, I get that.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, okay, they don't seem real. But anyway, back to where we were at. So they get new outfits, they get arrested. It's shenanigans, funny. Barbie thinks she meets the girl that owned her.
Essentially started causing the problem. So she's like, I'm going to go up to her and fix the problems.
And this one's like, don't talk to them.
yeah. So she like finds her, and then she's about to talk to her, and then this random ass kid's like, "Hey, you don't want to talk to her? You do not want to talk to her, okay?" And then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I want to."
Okay, I want to dive on.
Okay, black Adam. And then Barbie goes up and gets roasted because
movie lost
me
here. It lost me here.
Yes, this was definitely a scene where I was like, I am not on board.
Yeah,
because all four of the girls. Okay, here's my
Barbie.
Yeah, there was one that liked Barbie.
Yeah.
Here's my perspective. If I was in, because they said they were in high school. If I was in high school, and
Woody,
guy, a very convincing guy dressed up as Buzz Lightyear came up to me, and he was like, "Grant, you played with me recently. I've come back." I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
I'd humor it a little.
Like,
when I think it's real, no, but
I'd humor. I'd be like, "What the frick?"
Like, Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. And then like maybe he shows you his foot. Grant. Maybe they needed.
Oh yeah, like
maybe they needed a Woody name under her foot. You know.
See, that would have been good. Yeah, maybe there should have been like a stamp. Some sort of like. No, look, see, I'm your doll. Remember, you wrote on my hand.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe
take a little something from Toy Story.
Toy Story's a better movie, so yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so it lost me here. Maybe just because like I didn't care for that daughter character like ever. She just made Barbie cry.
Dude, I think she was the worst character in the movie.
Yeah,
honestly, like. And it's not like even like child actors. I think some child actors are fine.
Yeah. The whole point was like girls when they become teenagers become sassy and mean.
Yeah, they
I felt like
no longer like their toys.
Yeah,
and
they're mean to their moms.
They hate their mother.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the mother, aka the secretary that works for Mattel, is the one who brought out Barbie and started playing with her and had a bunch of depressing thoughts.
Yep.
And that's what linked everything together.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And then Barbie eventually gets taken away, and then Ken goes, "I'm gonna go Barbie land," and it lost me a little bit here with Ken leaving.
yeah, like I didn't like he was very.
He was so innocent, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm gonna go home, change the society, so Ken's rule the world." Like,
Right,
what?
right. like because the excuse is that so basically Ken learns all this stuff
Yeah.
about men ruling the world.
And horses.
And horses.
Yeah.
I do like the horse thing.
Yeah, I feel like the horse joke they did more than 3 times. It got old
it definitely took out the 3 rule. 100%.
Yep.
And yeah, so basically he learns all this stuff. So then he ditches Barbie, goes back to Barbie Land. And I guess the idea at first was like, oh, I'll get other people to help. But still, I wasn't really with it because I was like, I feel like he's not the type to abandon Barbie.
No, yeah, because he wants her attention. Like,
right. So I was expecting, because I mean, it even shows later on in the movie that he's so obsessed that like even after changing all of society, he still just wants her approval.
Yep.
So it just seemed kind of weird that he would ditch her in the first place. I was expecting him to go after her, but I mean, I guess not.
Yeah.
So that did lose me there too.
Yep. So basically, Barbie's at the top of the CEO. They do a whisper thing, which is funny. Will Ferrell faints. Like,
oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
He faints. That's funny. Physical comedy, I guess.
Yep.
And then they're like, Barbie, get in a box. And then she runs. She runs for it.
Yep.
Meets, later on we learn, the creator of Barbie, which... The scene...
Ruth something.
Yeah.
She runs into a room.
Yep.
And basically we find the original creator of Barbie sitting in a house in the office.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Tea, Barbie?"
Yeah. And do you remember what she said to Barbie? Because I feel like... I don't know this.
I don't really remember what she
like
said.
Like the whole everything with the old lady, it's just like confusing. Like
I think the old lady is also where it lost me quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, it's trying to be a little bit more meta than it should be.
Is this like supposed to be for girls who want to know what life is or what to do with their life? Maybe I just didn't relate with the theme of it.
I feel like what it was trying to go for, because for those of you guys that haven't watched it and are just saying, screw it, you want to hear the review.
Yeah.
The movie is very like becoming your true self and all that. The thing is, the movie is PG-13. It's clearly made for an older audience.
Yes. Yep.
Like there's jokes where Ken's like, "I'm gonna beat you off." Now, well, why don't you beat me off and then I'll beat you off.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like there's a lot of adult humor. So it's clearly geared towards that audience. So it's strange because it seems like the final lesson is more so for a younger crowd than what the movie itself is geared toward.
Yeah.
At least that's the way that I saw it.
Yeah, I was just disconnected with that whole theme.
Yeah. So I wasn't a big fan of that. So they basically, Barbie comes across the original creator. Yep. And it was pretty obvious from the... I mean, I thought that it was like, oh, that's the original Barbie, but it's revealed that that is the creator of Barbie, which I didn't know was still alive, honestly.
What's I feel like this has happened before in movies where someone meets their creator. I didn't feel like a safeness or warmth from that old lady actor.
Okay, not the same thing.
Yeah.
But Rango.
Okay.
Have you seen Rango?
No, I haven't actually.
Very similar thing. Basically, he gets. Actually, you know, we should watch that movie. It's a god tier movie.
Okay.
Basically, something happens and. A guy that we've literally never met before comes up and he's like a ghost, and then it's like for the movie you're watching, you're like, holy crap. Very cool moment.
Yeah, but
you guys that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like, you know, like Pinocchio and Gazpacho or something, you know, like there's like a warmth or a love to Pinocchio from Gazpacho. The old lady, I did not sense any love from her to Barbie.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like honestly, you know what would have been cooler now that I'm thinking about it?
Yeah.
That lady that she was sitting next to by the bus station.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Dude, if that turned out to be her, maybe I would have felt a little bit more connection.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's been like following her all along.
Or I thought like, oh, that's the owner the whole time or something.
Something like that. And it's like, oh, maybe she's just like keeping an eye on her. 'cause she knew the whole time. But no, she's just kind of like a one-off. Like she just, she sees an old lady and she's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." And
Yep.
It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then the original owner, the mom, and the daughter go to Barbie Land.
Yep.
And then it turns out Ken rules the whole area. They brainwash the Barbies.
How did they brainwash them?
Don't ask that. Yeah.
Too many questions.
I don't know how they did because also they love beer, trucks. It's actually stereotypical men stuff.
Yeah. Well, basically, Ken gets there, and I 100% get how the Kens were won over because they're like, "Holy crap, what the frick? We could do that."
Yeah.
So all the Kens take over. But then all the Barbies are in like maid outfits and stuff, and they're like giving them foot massages. And then they're like, "Oh, they're brainwashed by the Kens," and I'm like, "How? But how?
How? Yeah, like the Ken came and was like, "Oh yeah, men rule society in the real world. We should match that." And then they're like,
"Yeah,
yes."
Okay.
Like, what the frick?
Maybe there was just so much Ken fluence that they were like,
"Nice, yeah,
okay."
Yeah.
So then Barbie and the mother and the daughter that are connected to the whole problem to begin with arrive back in Barbie Land. Barbie immediately gives up because all the other Barbies are brainwashed.
Yep.
So she like slaps on the pavement. And then we have the best scene in the entire film where the mother and the daughter are escaping and
Alan.
Michael Cera, Alan himself, comes out with his big moment because he wants to escape Barbie Land.
Yep.
And we get one of the biggest reveals. NSYNC is all made up of Alans.
What's NSYNC?
It's that band, the bye 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 bye. I don't want to be a fool for you.
Okay,
just another play in your game for two.
I missed that part. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, he's basically saying because they were like, "You can't go to the real world. You belong here," and he's like, well, "We talk about Allens have already left. NSYNC.
Oh,
those were Allens."
Did a Family Guy cut to the real world with him there?
No, he just referenced it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is right before he like fought all of the different Kens.
I just missed a reference, I guess. Rip.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you didn't know who they were,
I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Then it'd fly over your head.
Yeah, it definitely did.
But yeah, then he goes off and fights all of them, only for him to get back to the car, and they're like, "We're turning around."
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, okay, I'm never leaving."
Yeah. And then they go to Weird Barbie's house, and they find out all the older model Barbies are there, not the pregnant one, and they are not brainwashed. Yeah.
Yep.
And Margot Robbie's there, depressed. It is a really funny depression bit with the girls being depressed. Like they watch a specific TV show, they eat family-sized Starburst.
Oh, yeah.
I love that part.
They have like a little commercial. I forgot about that.
Have your depressed Barbie, because
depressed Barbie now.
Yeah. I love that part.
Eat a whole tub of ice cream and
watch that one show. Yeah. So they go, all right, let's kidnap the Barbies, unbrainwash them, then manipulate the Ken's egos so they fight each other. And while they fight each other, we all sneak to the Congress area and vote on the Constitution so we become in power again, and the Kens are on the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah. 'Cause the whole thing is that it's you're flipping the labels.
Yes. Yep.
What did you think about the way that they unbrainwashed them?
I think it was really entertaining the whole time.
Yep.
But it dragged on a little bit too much with the song and dances, like the war with the Kens. I wasn't really...
Yeah. Where does like the big dance number and all that?
Yeah. Like the dance number is good, but like the war, like them going on the beach, like charge, and then they're all doing that. But then, it just was like a food fight. I don't know.
Yeah. It went on a lot longer than what it should have. Yeah. But I will say one of my audible laughs was when the businessmen are going through the crowd, and then because like the whole time it's like they're throwing rubber ducks and shit at each other and like towels and rubber arrows, and then one of the guys gets actually shot.
Oh yeah.
I got shot. Do they have real weapons? Like they shouldn't.
Yeah, they should.
And then it's never revealed like who has a weapon, and I'm like, that's perfect. Just leave it at that.
Then
basically the Barbies vote.
Yeah.
And then that restores the natural order.
Yeah, we're skipping over. No, it's fine. So then, basically,
what are we missing?
not specifically. I was thinking of when Margot Robbie or Barbie gets back and then realizes the whole city's like that, and then she talks to her Ken, and he's like, "Oh, can you be my girlfriend who's like part-time?"
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I guess there's nothing really much to say. I guess I just felt like I wanted more clear motives.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that because it definitely felt like at times they didn't really know what to do with Ken. Yeah, whether to make him like innocent and lovable versus like obsessive and creepy. Yeah, so they're kind of like swapping between the two.
Anyway, that gives us to post Ken War. Yep. And a businessman come out of the tower, and then the funniest joke.
The funniest joke of the whole film.
It's Will Ferrell. He's so good.
Yeah, Will Ferrell does a great job in this. Yeah. So basically, at the beginning of the film, they're going through all the different Barbies, and there's like a pregnant one, and they were like, oh yeah, that one was canceled. Yep. So it's just funny because it's like the Mattel CEO coming out of the tower. He's like, Barbie, listen. Because he sees the pregnant Barbie.
I don't know, it's so funny. It's just hilarious.
It's just so like, because he like hasn't seen it in so long. It's like shocking. It's like, what the?
Yeah. And then the movie doesn't know what to do with the businessmen, so they just stand there for the rest of the movie.
So they basically just stand there, and then they go, we got to set things back the way that they were, and then Barbie's like,
And dude, okay, so Ken and Barbie have a talk on the bed. Yep. Ken still just wants a kiss, and Barbie doesn't want to kiss him back, which I understand, but like, for a second they're just like, I'm Ken. I'm like, this isn't a solution. It's a joke. I don't know what they're. I guess he's becoming comfortable with himself.
Right.
And he'll always never be seen by Barbie.
Right, because like the Ken end resolution was sort of just like being okay with what he was before, while Barbie's was it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
Like to be your own person.
Yeah.
So Ken's just kind of seemed sort of lackluster. Like
for him having such a huge thing.
Right, for having such a huge part, the end resolution was just sort of like, it's okay to be Ken.
It was almost played for laughs, in my opinion.
It's like he was a joke character, which was fine. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big fan of punching bag characters just to be punching bags.
It's
like,
definitely a punching bag.
But you have to have some sort of a different side to it. If you end him off being a punching bag, then it's like, what did you really gain?
Yeah, and I know this whole movie is like man and woman, real world men rule, Barbie Land woman rule.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see, maybe it's my toxic manly traits. I would have seen like we can have a section for the Kens to live, and they can live there together.
Right, like I thought it would have been really cool if it was like, because they just lost all their new homes, I guess. Yeah. So it would have been cool if it was like, oh, you guys can go over there. But yeah, no, they just end, and it's just like, all right, we're all cool with being Ken, and we'll get all our stuff out of here.
Can we have one Ken on the Supreme Council? No, lower though.
Well, yeah, and that was the part where I was like, "That's dumb," because all the Kens are like, all of a sudden they're all excited. They're like, "Yo, we'll help with the society."
Yeah.
They're like, "Can we be a part of the Supreme Court?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, again, I know it's a joke, but like, there's nothing else to it because, like, honestly, you could take Kens completely out of the movie, and it would not change much. Like, it would take away the world changing, but you could just have a businessman show up and it changes it. I don't know.
They could have just had that one other Ken who's like the rival Ken.
Right.
And that's it. Yeah.
Like that's all. Maybe Barbie leaves and he's like, this is my chance to take over. Like there just wasn't really that much of a point to Ryan Gosling's Ken. He was a very funny character, but just didn't have that much of a point.
Yeah.
So
he wore that coat for too long, and then I think it was like, oh, look at 6-pack or whatever, 8-pack.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Which is fine because Margot Robbie's hot, Ryan Gosling's hot.
Dude, you already know, yeah.
And then the creator of Barbie shows up, reveals she's a creator of Barbie.
Yep.
And then she and Barbie walk into a room, and she's like,
Basically,
Yeah.
this is the point where Barbie's like, I don't want to be a basic Barbie no more.
Yes.
And then it's basically she wants to be a human and actually like live life.
Yeah.
Which this part did kind of this part of the end part made sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, the other Barbies have a purpose because they're the president or they're a doctor or whatever.
Yes.
So sure, fine. Because she is a standard basic Barbie, so she doesn't have a specific purpose. All right, I can roll with that. The part that I didn't get was basically the creator of Barbie is like, yes, you can be a human, and then it just kind of like lost me from there.
yeah.
But
she said you can be human, but she didn't really infer that. Like, I didn't know where they were going, what was happening.
Yeah.
What the old lady was doing right then, and then it did a flashback where there's a bunch of little girls and women just having fun in life, and then I'm like, did the Barbies cause the fun that women have nowadays, or why are we seeing woman in real life having fun? Because there's a nostalgia type film or lens to the camera.
See, I was definitely expecting it to take a page from Toy Story, where it was like, oh, she's gonna be like Woody, and it's gonna be like, oh, she gets pleasure from like making that child happy.
Yeah.
So that was gonna be how it ended, but it just seemed kind of weird that it ended with her being like, I want to be a real person.
Yeah.
And I guess to change the world or whatever, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird. I just didn't get it.
If she went like, I want to become the president of the U.S., I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something a little bit different. The ending just fell off.
Maybe it's because the movie wasn't made for me. I feel like this movie was made for girls specifically. It was still funny as a guy watching it.
That's the thing. Like, I definitely think this movie had some trouble finding its audience.
Yeah.
There are some parts that are definitely made for an older audience, and then there are definitely some parts where it's made for a younger audience.
Yeah.
And there's some parts like Ken that are made for guys.
Yeah.
But it doesn't want to settle on one of those. So it keeps trying to go between different subjects. So like the ending was definitely made for that younger girl audience.
Yeah.
Like be whoever you want to be, girls growing up, #power, very cool. The guy part of it was kind of dropped off. There wasn't too much, care for the end of that. And the adult stuff kind of dropped off too. It wasn't as important, but I just think this film had a hard time finding its identity, which hurt it in the long run.
Another weird thing to Barbie Land rules is like stereotypical Barbie, the main character, is becoming more and more human with cellulite and all that. But when she's depressed, like she like sits there like a doll and then like folds over. I'm like,
right.
Is she human or a doll? I don't know.
That's another thing. Did the creator of Barbie, because she did some like magic stuff with her hands, I was like, did that make her human? I thought she was turning human.
Yeah, it was just so.
Yeah,
I don't know. It missed a mark for me.
Yeah, I think
it went over my head.
Yeah, this is an incredibly enjoyable movie.
Yeah,
I very much loved watching it.
Just don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, just don't think about it at all.
Yeah.
Go into it with low expectations, and I think you'll come out of it going,
yeah. Just look at it face value. Don't. Think of the
if you look at it at face
mechanics.
value, then perfect.
Yeah,
there
it's a
you
good
go.
movie. Yep,
It's nothing phenomenal, but it's a good film.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a good film.
Yep.
Is that about it for the story that you were thinking?
Yeah, that's all that is. Yep. It seems kind of messy.
Yep, 100%. In terms of world building, how are you with that? Was that?
It was good.
I thought
Barbie Land was fun to watch. Yeah. World building wise.
When they went to the real world, I thought that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
I wish they explored more of it, but
Same.
I thought it was fun.
Yep. And then the rules of the world didn't make sense. So I don't know if that's rules of building, but that's the world built.
Exactly.
The rules don't make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the best way that they could have fixed it is if they took time to flesh out the rules. Two things. Flesh out the rules of the world and flesh out a few of the characters a bit more.
Yeah, agreed.
Figure out their exact motivations. CGI. What do you think of CGI? Special effects.
It was good. They added some sparkle there. Like if they crashed a car or landed on their butts on the dirt, there's like a little powder like
Yeah,
that.
like the
And-
transitioning between the real world and the Barbie world.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really like that stuff where
That's
they're
fun.
they're in a camper and now it's all like cardboard and stuff. Like that was cool.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, so that
yep.
was pretty cool. Music, what'd you think of music?
I don't remember it, and
Bro, you don't remember the Nicki Minaj Ice Spice?
yeah.
I'm a Bobby bitch.
Okay.
I'm Bobby.
Yeah,
Bobby
yeah.
girl, in the
So-
Bobby world.
The Barbie music, I really just remember the opening.
Yep.
It was fun. It was a mechanic to tell story.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
It
fun.
was nothing great. I will certainly not be vibing to the Barbie remix.
Yeah, same.
So I'd say it's debatable.
Yeah,
It's debatable at best. So.
It's just a tool to tell story in the beginning, and then I don't remember any of the other songs till the credits.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess okay. Musical dance numbers. What do you think about that?
True. I think the best musical dance number was probably I like the Ken one, where they're all like
Yeah.
in a triangle pose and they're all doing like the.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, I don't know. It's just okay. No, they could have
Yeah.
cut that and it would have been fine. They could
Oh,
have cut
100%.
that. Yeah,
But as a song in itself, I
It's
remember
true.
vibing to that one the most.
yes.
But it was pointless.
yeah,
There's nothing
And I feel
really
like
to it.
a good movie would have reason to that instead of them being in an empty room, but they're distracted. I
Yeah.
guess, but,
Right. It was
Yep.
kind of just like, okay, we have an hour and a half to fill Ken dance number. Bam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, final thoughts. Jacob, what was your biggest yay and biggest nay?
Biggest yay was the comedy and Alan.
Yep.
Biggest nay was the overall plot didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. That's basically my thoughts.
Yeah, Alan was.
Yeah, the comedy made us both laugh
Yep.
several times. They hit that out of the ballpark.
They did great,
I
yeah.
think that was fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, biggest nay was definitely, I think, world building.
Yep.
Character building. It needed more time in the oven.
Yeah, I agree.
I
Yeah.
think that missed the mark quite a bit. What could have made it better?
I think they could have worked on Ken and stereotypical Barbie and really solidified their characters or their stories and how they work together specifically.
Yeah.
I guess they're dynamic, or what's the word? Like how they gel together.
The dynamic.
Yeah. I think I just wanted a better.
Yeah, I was
in the
kind of
begin-
hoping for
yeah.
like a. I mean, maybe I'm setting my expectations too high, but I was kind
Yeah.
of hoping for like a duo buddy comedy sort of thing.
Yeah, because like I mean, Ken like betrays her almost, and then
Yeah,
he plays hard to
yeah.
get. Then he actually wants her.
Motivations just don't really make sense.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. World building, characters, all that stuff. But what is the final score? Has it changed? Our
I'm just
final
gonna do
score.
3 out of 6 still.
Yep, out of 5.
3 out of 5. My bad, guys. 3 out of 5.
I will move mine to a 3 out of 5. I agree with that now, thinking over the plot and such. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So,
Yeah.
guys, 3 out of 5. It is an above average movie.
if you like Barbie, definitely watch it.
100%.
Yeah.
If you watch the trailer and you're like, that looks really funny,
Yep.
you will find it funny. You will laugh several times at it. It's an absolute joy in that regard. Do not think about it much. But guys, that is about it for this episode
Hell yeah.
of the Grant Guy Movie Reviews. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure to sub, like, do all that
Do
shit.
everything.
Come on.
Beach all over us.
Yeah. Hey guys, we'll beach you off if you beach us off.
Yes. Now we're gonna beach each other.
We're gonna beach off real quick
Yep.
back here. So we'll check you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.